Hi, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jay.
Welcome to this week's Arguably Correct.
I'm very excited about this week.
We're going to be talking about the flat Earth.
No. I was
just
really excited.
kidding. Just kidding.
We should sometime, though.
We should probably stop with the flat Earth stuff.
That would be 45 minutes of me just yelling at the microphone.
You running at 9.8 meters per second squared right at the microphone.
Directly up because gravity. Okay, you know what? Don't get me started.
We need to talk about that sometime because they are taking a trip to the Antarctic. I did read about
Actually,
this.
we will do a future episode on that because I'm very upset that they now have a documentary, I guess you want to call it.
On Netflix.
Yeah, did you watch it?
I have not yet.
I did.
Oh boy, we'll talk about that.
I suffered through that. Yeah, you're right. Are you going to get me on a tangent already?
So, hey, you know what? While we're here, we might as well just drop us an email at arguablycorrectpodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at arguablyc on your opinions on the flat Earth, and we'll pick them up and rub them in Jay's face. We'll have a future episode.
If there is anyone out there that is listening that is a flat earther, I would just, I'd love it. I'd love it.
So give us some feedback out there.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure how you're receiving this podcast if you haven't used the globe and the satellites and all the internet, but it's totally possible.
It bounces off the dome.
Oh, that's right.
That's their answer.
Well, you know.
Anyway, moving on to this week's.
They probably have cameras.
Who?
The flat earthers.
That's a shitty seg. Oh, they do. Yeah, and they use them incorrectly all the time.
Really?
But anyways.
I wonder if they ever put them at stoplights.
You know who else uses them incorrectly?
The government.
The government. So when we brought this up, you and I were at a show a few weeks ago, and we talked about this topic, and maybe I misunderstood you. I thought you were for them.
I am actually a little bit.
A little bit. All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
after a little bit of research too, but we'll get to there. We'll get there.
Okay. I was going to ask you to describe your position on the good points because I can't find any.
So the good points.
Yes.
There is evidence that shows that it does reduce right angle collisions and reduces the amount of damage that happens at those intersections with lights, camera lights.
So happy you brought that up. So the big part there is reduces damage because the insurance companies are another big fan of these cameras. So that's just them.
It also saves lives.
It does not, but that's all right. It's them watching.
Statistically, it does.
And I would have to assume you got that from like ATSOL.com.
ATSOL.com?
AmericanTrafficSolutions.com.
No.
They've got a ton of information on their website that is all bullshit. It's conducted by them, and because that's the company website that puts these cameras in all these places.
No, it was the National Traffic Safety Board. Or
are you sure it was really them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
NTS. Am I saying it right?
NTSB.
I believe
NTSB.
so.
All right. Well,
because the average is about 1,000 people die every year at intersections.
Well, driving's dangerous.
It is.
So look out, stupid.
And when they do put up the cameras, accidents right angle collisions decrease, but there is an increase in rear-ending collisions.
Exactly.
So but the net effect is less, obviously, by less people killed, less people injured, and also less damage done at those intersections.
Yeah, I'm not buying those numbers.
Well, you don't have to buy them; they've already been put out there.
And there's other studies that say the exact opposite. So I think it depends on where you find your study, because I found studies that say they have no effect. And the only studies I found that had said they did have an effect were on ATSOL.
Well, even some of the studies that I read that were countering the fact that they were, effective, did give that, yes, they do reduce this and they reduce that. They reduce the right angle collisions. They admitted it. And these were websites and things that were not proponents of the cameras, but they admitted that, yes, this does happen, but there's other things that also happen that aren't fair, and then of course the legality of it, right? That's the other part, and that's where I'm gonna start pulling towards your side, is that even though it's good, right? Safety-wise,
it's not good.
Okay, well,
but go ahead.
Tell me how it's not.
I disagree.
Okay, you can disagree, but how? Give me a reason.
Like, you want some of the studies that I brought up?
Sure. What's the reason you think they're bad?
Oh, geez.
On a safety standpoint.
I mean, this starts out here. The automobile is like, you're going to love where this is from. It's from Scientific American.
I believe I read that one too.
But they actually do research. They don't just, but I know it's a weird concept. The automobile is a killer in the U.S. 36,675 people died in traffic accidents in 2014. The year before, 2.3 million were injured in traffic accidents. So yeah, it's driving.
Yeah, but that's general accidents. Yes, we're talking about intersections.
They get more into it. They even talk about the T-bone. In a red light camera program, a camera's installed. Okay, we all know how they work. These programs aim to reduce cross-street collisions. The idea is that drivers, fearing a higher chance they'll be fined, will be more likely to stop, lowering the number of angle or T-bone accidents. Evidence clearly showed that camera programs are effective at decreasing the number of vehicles running red lights. In one city in Virginia, red light cameras reduced the total number of drivers running red lights by 67%. I hate reading on podcasts. It's so boring.
Well, let's surmise here. Let's bring that back. So T-bone collision, right angle collisions, reduced by how much? 67%. Now, you had an increase.
No. That was the total number of drivers running the red lights. Simply did no accidents. Evidence clearly shows that programs are effective at decreasing the number of vehicles running red lights. Just that.
Okay.
Sorry, it stops that by 67%. So 67%
reduction
less
in
people run red lights. However, okay, and then it goes, all right, so, but the number of accidents from stopping at a red light, such as rear-end accidents, is likely to increase. Not an inconsequential side effect. Some drivers will attempt to stop, accepting a higher risk of a non-angle accident, like getting rear-ended in order to avoid...
Correct, I read the same study.
Okay, good. So...
But in that same study, in that same paper you have there from the Scientific American, it does say that it reduces the right angle collisions, and it is it's significant, but there is an increase in rear end collisions. However, the net difference between the two is still what you would call a positive correlation.
All right.
So the lights did affect
even if
less accidents.
And I will, just to move on, okay, I'm agreeing to that. Let's say that they're great. They save lives. The problem we have with them is the fact that they're unconstitutional. They're illegal. They should be. Some states are illegal. Michigan is smart in that aspect.
Some states they are illegal. Yep.
And they are. Let's call them what they really are. Is just a straight up cash grab. Nobody does this for safety. They do it for a cash grab. That's it. No.
I disagree. I mean, I think that there is a safety component to it. Yes, there is a revenue component to it as well. And here's really where I want to get at. What? No, I mean, there's tons of... They do make plenty of money.
It's just a cash grab. That's it.
I disagree. I don't think it's just a cash grab.
It is.
However, this is where I'll start leaning towards your side is I agree that there is a little bit of the cash incentive for the local governments to do so. And the argument here is that, if there's fines attached to it, that people are going to be more likely to obey the traffic signal because they know they can get a fine, that there doesn't have to be an officer there.
It goes back
and you can't take it to court. You can't, have your accuser present.
All illegal, all unconstitutional.
And the other argument is, well, you don't know if I was driving the car or not driving the car, right?
That's definitely an argument.
So they're issuing the ticket to the vehicle.
Yes, which is illegal, unconstitutional.
And not in every state.
Yes. The Constitution is nationwide.
Okay, you're talking about, where in the Constitution does it say you can't issue a ticket to a vehicle?
I'm pretty sure you get the right to a fair trial.
Hold on.
Don't you get a right to a fair trial?
No, because there's no loss of liberty here.
There is.
No, you will not go to jail. There's no loss of liberty. There's no chance of loss of liberty. That's where the difference is. It's a civil crime.
It's a scam. It's a straight up scam. No,
there is a safety benefit to it. I mean, statistically, it shows you, right? And you look at almost all, even the studies of the people who are against it will say, yes, there is a statistically significant decrease in right angle collisions and injuries at intersections given the red light cameras. And in Texas, where they had the red light cameras and removed them, there's a study that did it before and after and showed that when the cameras were removed, that the accident rate frequency did increase and the rate of injuries also did increase.
There's also a study that I saw that there was a city who had a lot of, they pinned down the 5 worst spots in their city where accidents happened. So that's what they used to pass the cameras. And then they passed the cameras, and out of those 5, only one of them has a traffic camera set up. They're set up everywhere else because they're not out for safety, they're out for money. The majority of this comes from that American Traffic Solutions, in which they've got a bunch of false information on their page about the accident safety rate and the constitutionality of it and all that. But the main idea is that if you are in Ohio or if you're in Florida, wherever you're from, those are the 2 biggest ones, I think. if you run that red light, and what about speeding cameras? Because the same company operates both. So we talked before about speeding and the safety of it. Driving is dangerous. Accidents happen. People are going to die. That's just part of it. So if you want to make things safer, there are other ways to go about that, I think,
I agree.
Than this
the cameras.
Scam.
Or you can put them both. And here is where I think if you could use both systems, I would agree with more. And by this I mean if you install the red light speed camera and
the unconstitutional, illegal red light
hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I've let you talk for 20 episodes. So
do I talk more than you?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
So you install these red light cameras and you do a traffic survey and see, and a lot of the data shows that if you lengthen the yellow light to a certain length, that accidents decrease too, and the rear-ending accidents also decrease. So if you can couple those two things together, you put the traffic light there along with increased yellow light length, you can mediate that rear end issue, right, and give more people time to adequately navigate the intersection, and that would actually be for safety. But this is where I'm going to start to agree with you. They don't really want to do that because then they're going to lose their revenue source, and they have to have some revenue come through that light such that the company that put it up can recover costs, and they have to make a profit because they're footing the bill for everything. They're putting the risk out there. Of course, they want to make a profit, so you don't want to make it too safe. So there, I'm gonna lean and go. It's not entirely all about safety, but I think safety is a component of it, and it does have an effect.
I think if you look into the studies you see about the accident rates, you will find the majority of them are either from that company or they're from companies that support the idea of this.
AAA. They also did. I mean, I read a couple studies that were supported by AAA, the National Transportation Board, Safety Board. I can't remember the acronym right now.
I'll be honest. I didn't do a lot of research on the pros of it because once you realized the concept behind the unconstitutionality of it, I stopped. It doesn't matter if it saves lives. It's unconstitutional. It shouldn't happen.
But they aren't unconstitutional. Issuing the fine to the vehicle has become the article of contention, and it's not always been
due process.
Okay, there's no due process here.
You are charging my vehicle with a crime.
Okay,
you can't prove who's driving it.
Okay,
but now you're saying that the owner of that vehicle is not responsible for whoever was driving its actions.
Correct.
So you yourself are being held civilly, liable and accountable in a court of law for something that the court can't prove you did. And that's how...
but you are responsible for that vehicle.
Not true.
Okay.
Not true.
Unless you report it stolen.
Not true still.
No. Are you responsible?
So if I loan you my vehicle and you're a licensed driver, a legal licensed driver in the state of Ohio, and you drive it into a festival full of children, killing 38 people, am I in trouble for that?
Wrongful entrustment.
No.
Yes.
I don't think that's even a thing.
Yes, wrongful entrustment is definitely
I'll have to look that up.
Absolutely
is a thing. Stupid.
Maybe it is fucking stupid, but it's the thing. And here, I started thinking about this because, again, on the legal side, I was totally on your fence. And
there are people who have beat it.
Absolutely.
I will suggest everyone, if you get one of these, ignore them. There's no points in your license. No. It doesn't affect your credit score. They can't take you to jail for it.
Now, I have heard that they can send you to collections for them. Now, I happen to have
just
two
scary letters.
I happen to have two of them that I've gotten, and I've never paid them.
And what happened?
So far, nothing. But I did read that if you get to 3, then they'll send you to collections.
Oh, 3?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm
at 2.
I might actually go out. I might make a YouTube video of that. I might go out and get one on purpose and then not pay it because fuck them. They can't make me.
Hopefully you can do this at night when they're not endangering someone else.
Well, fuck you. It's for science.
Oh, is that what?
If it's for science, it's okay.
I don't know. Again, the legality. This is the argument that I've
grab.
Okay, I hear you. For fuck's sake, come up with another tagline.
There isn't one.
So is it unconstitutional or is it a cash grab? What is your biggest problem with it?
I think they're equal.
You think those two things are equal?
Biggest problems.
Okay.
You're charging me with a crime that you can't prove I committed, first of all. And that's how it's been beaten in court before. A story of a lawyer, actually he was a law professor in Florida. I should have printed that one out. I'm sorry I didn't.
I know what you're talking about.
He appealed it. And the people at the courthouse they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, he beat it.
Yeah, well, and then they finally figured out the appeals, and it took him forever to appeal it. But he had the legal mind to do it, whereas most people don't. Yeah, exactly.
And the money.
So it's just something that they put up to get money from citizens. That's it.
And I think I just have trouble with the word just. I don't think it's just for that. I think it does do that. And there have been communities that have put them up that they don't subscribe to the corporation that maintains them. They buy them themselves and continue to use them, and they've shut them down
more
because
money
they
for them.
Well, and they've shut them down because they couldn't afford to maintain them because they are very expensive to maintain, right?
I'm sure.
So, but let me get back to this point and see what you think about this. So the argument is, one of the legal arguments is you're issuing the ticket to the vehicle, right? Correct. Just right. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So, but there is, like you said, it's a civil penalty. It's not, there's no crime. There's no points. Nothing like that. It's a civil infraction. It's a fine, right? Levied by another corporation in the name of whatever city that's doing so.
Which makes it even worse.
So if you own a home in a city and there's an ordinance, right? Okay, following me?
Okay.
And your ordinance is, and you own the home and you rent it to Joe Smith.
Okay.
And Joe Smith does not cut the grass.
Okay.
And the city comes by and issues a ticket to the homeowner because you own the house, right?
Okay.
That house has violated the city ordinance.
Oh, so now I have to go. So I have to go sue my renter to get the money back?
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
But it's legal, and does that seem wrong?
Yes.
It's your property. You are responsible for it.
It's not my property.
It is your property. You rent it. You were responsible for it.
See, but now
you're responsible for what they do with
it.
You are. That's the law.
But you get to the whole idea of, okay, if it's my property, can I walk in there anytime I want to?
No,
because dude has rights.
You can still be responsible for it and not be able to go into it.
Dude has rights because it's his house, right?
So he has lawful residence, yes.
So as a landlord, I can't just walk in there anytime I want to.
But you as a landlord have a responsibility to the property, as in you and the owner of a vehicle have a responsibility to that vehicle. Again, you go to the wrongful entrustment.
That's where you get in the issue of civil versus criminal. And that's why all of these are civil.
That's why it's civil.
If they made them criminal, they'd all be gone.
Yeah, you couldn't do it because
they'd all be gone, which is why it's a cash grab. If they were really worried about punishing someone, they would make it criminal. For instance, it is criminal to speed, right? So if a police officer writes you a speeding ticket, you can lose points. But when a speed camera catches you, there's no points involved. It's just the fine. Just give us our money and we'll pretend it didn't happen. It's basically the concept behind it. They just want their money. It's just a way to make money. And this company comes in with their own studies, and I use air quotes, which the listeners can't see, and their studies tout how much safer your community will be, and you'll make tons of money, and you can build parks with the revenue, and I'm sure everybody goes into it good-hearted, but they're a bunch of thieves.
Okay, so when you go and buy a registration for your vehicle...
Yes.
Okay, so isn't that kind of the same thing?
Yes.
So if you don't pay for that registration...
Yes.
What happens?
Well, that's a whole...
Right? So that's a cash grab of sorts.
It is.
But it's completely legal.
And there are people who would argue against that, and I don't know.
They'd be wrong, and
you get
precedents where would show that they're
where
wrong.
I would need a law degree to carry on. I think it's a cash grab, just like front license plates are a cash grab, which Ohio is working against right now.
Yes, that was interesting. I was reading that today, and we'll have to do a one on it. I actually don't have one on my vehicle.
That's illegal in Ohio.
It is illegal in Ohio, but it is the only reason they pull you over is for a reason to pull you over for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear an interesting theory on that. Now we're going on a tangent, but that they want to have the front license plates on there because it can be the only thing that is reflective if the vehicle doesn't happen to have front headlights on during, a low light situation. And
they'll think of anything.
And I thought that was...
It's also for law enforcement. Well, we could use a double tag. That extra tag really helps us out. It has nothing to do with the fact that it costs,
Well, most people don't back
so
into parking
more
spaces at the gas station when they go to rob it too. They pull in. So if they don't have a front license plate, you don't get the license plate.
I think that also comes down to, well, if I can charge them double for the plates, how about this? If they were smart, what they would do, which I'm sure is how it'll end up, we will pass the thing and they'll say, hey, you don't need a front license plate anymore. And if your registration right now costs, $47 and you're buying 2 plates, your registration is still going to cost $47 and you're only going to get 1 plate.
Yeah, but you don't get a new plate every time you register. It's more money if you have to get new plates.
Yeah, it's still a big con.
That money goes to do what?
I don't know, probably buy a governor a really nice mansion or a massage. I have no idea where it goes. I know where it goes. Out of my fucking pocket.
It does go out of your pocket.
Because apparently they don't take enough during tax season. They need a little more on my birthday.
Think about the cost of registering a vehicle is over the years extremely low. I mean, for what you get, 365 days of the year to utilize an infrastructure that costs billions of dollars for your $47 a year.
Okay.
I mean, that's really not that bad of a deal, right?
I have to look into it.
But still, we accept it.
I don't have a choice. If I want to drive, I have to pay it.
Okay, so if you drive through the fucking stoplight and it has a ticket, you gotta pay it.
But it's okay. But
of course, I don't pay it, so I'm kind of a hypocrite.
But at least that is like I've said, okay, yes, I agree to this setup. I will pay you your stupid money, and I will get my registration. Excuse me. I will get my license. I will do all that. And now they're saying, well, we don't have enough police officers, or we're too lazy. We're not making enough money. We got this automated system now that will catch you doing things, and then we're going to rob more money from you because we want all of your money. Can we have all of it, please? They're just trying to find new ways to take your fucking money. And this is one of them. And the majority of people who try to fight these lose automatically. It's rare that they win. It happens, but it's rare.
What, to fight the red light tickets?
Or, yeah, any of them. Prove it was me. You're making me pay, right?
Well, that's where the law comes in, and that's where they lose, is because the affidavit that they have signed that says, the officer that signs the affidavit says that I witnessed that this driver was, this person.
Exactly.
Because instead of the word, if they would have this vehicle,
fuck that guy.
And that's where that dude gets screwed, and that's where you're going to lose.
He even
and that's why the guy in Florida, that's how he won.
He admitted to perjury. The officer did. Because every officer, and whoever out there is listening to this that might know an officer that might do this, let them know that every piece of shit officer that does this is signing an affidavit and perjuring himself, and should be charged as such and full extent. Put that motherfucker in jail. You're a lying asshole at that point. I get so mad at this stuff.
Well, unfortunately, he's doing the bidding of their their government, which is not right. And
quit your fucking job then.
It's unfortunate. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember something else about I was just following orders and a bunch of people got gassed. I think that was a bad time. I'm just saying it wasn't fun for some people, unless I'm wrong about that. But just following orders isn't. Well, it's a job. I got to pay the bills. I got to take care. I'm just following orders. That's a stupid way to live your life, and fuck you for doing it.
So I'm
getting too worked up about this.
No, but I understand. I get it.
I get angry about it.
I watched my argument was early on against them, because I was against them, and I still kind of am. I don't disagree that there is a cash component to it. I'm not stupid. I get that they generate revenue. Hopefully that revenue is used for a decent purpose. I get that. I don't want to give them any revenue. I'm not going to pay them. But if it's,
I would like the idea, but I'm not fucking paying them.
I'm not paying them. But I get the idea, and you know what? A human life is valuable, and if we can do anything, I think that the ideas is a good idea, but they need to elaborate, expound upon it, and lengthen the yellow lights. Give opportunity. When I moved here, this is an interesting thing. When I moved from Missouri to Ohio, that was one of the first things I noticed. Missouri. The first thing I noticed, I shouldn't say first, but one of the first things I noticed was how short the yellow lights are here. And
I call them go lights.
Yeah, it is insane.
Yellow light, I floor it. I gotta get through.
Well, and then the whole, when you're taking left-hand turn, and we kind of commonly called it an Ohio left. When you get out in the middle of the intersection, and just wait for all that, and then the lights turns red, and you still got 3 cars, and then you go. Like you don't see that. Well, I didn't see that in Missouri.
Yeah, and also it's not just about you getting out far enough. Bill Burr also once pointed out it's very important to make sure that at least the next guy behind you. Otherwise, you're just an asshole.
Right.
So yeah, you have to get out far enough that you can still let somebody else make their left-hand turn. You sort of split it, and as many people as you can get in behind you, that's just doing everybody else a solid.
I don't like doing that. I do it, but I don't enjoy it.
I thoroughly enjoy it.
I mean, I try to think back to...
Let's get everyone through.
Driver's ed class, when they say, don't go through the intersection until it's clear. And then you have these people where there's traffic and the light's, green, and they can go 3 feet into the intersection, and they basically just block the other people when the light turns from going anywhere. So then everybody just gets stuck.
No, they don't get stuck. You get stuck if there's a bunch of dumb... Okay, and people are dumb. Okay, I get your concept.
Thank you very much.
But
If there was a red light camera there, I wonder if they would all get tickets for being parked in.
Doesn't matter. I won't fucking pay one. No fucking way.
I haven't paid it either. So
not only will I not pay it, I'll probably write a letter back, tell them to go fuck themselves. I want to get one.
Well, here's a very controversial solution to this. Fine, let's get rid of them and put
You mean
roundabouts.
like we used to?
Put roundabouts in.
Roundabouts.
I love them. I love roundabouts. The science, that thing that you worship, backs them.
I don't worship.
You worship the science book all the time. You even got your Scientific American.
So
out.
Mean to me. It's not a god. All right, it's just numbers and facts.
Yeah,
which scares Christians because all of a sudden God's not there.
But anyway, science is on my side. Science has
I like
proven that roundabouts are good.
They put a roundabout in the town I live in. And
that one's a little dumb. I mean, it worked though, but it's kind of dumb.
No, it's stupid. And there's video of like truckers. So they put it in a highway.
Yeah.
So in town, cool. I'm down for it. I'm not opposed to roundabouts. I'm not used to them. They're a little sketchy, but as far as, like you said, the science behind them and all that, I completely agree. So not that I'm worshiping it. It's not like I'm giving it my money and praying to it to fix all my problems so I don't have to do it myself. No, I just get it. So, but yeah, when you put them on a highway where it goes from 55 on a straight highway, all of a sudden to 25 for a roundabout, you're asking for fucking trouble.
Is that a single lane or dual lane? I can't remember.
That is it. It's a single lane.
It's a single lane. Isn't it two lanes
road.
come into one?
One going north, one going south.
Okay. So it is the road is one lane both ways. I thought it was two lanes both ways.
No. So one lane. Yeah. One lane.
Yeah, and it's a very shallow roundabout. So I've seen some of these drivers try to get through there and pulling a 53-foot trailer. It does not work.
I've seen them jump it.
Yeah,
they fucking smoked it.
It's crazy. It's a bad location for that one.
And I get it. They did it for a college and a new entrance and all that. And they're like, oh, we don't want to put a stoplight up. And I get that, but
because the stoplight that was down there was terrible. You get there at 3:00 in the morning and sit there for 5 minutes, and there's nobody going by.
The problem is that there's a stoplight like a mile down from it anyway. Yeah. So I guess
they should put a red light camera there.
Well, yeah, they'd get more money.
In my neighborhood,
we need the government taking more of our money. They spend it so well.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm so glad we have no problems anymore.
Single payer health care, everything.
Yeah, well, hey, everything is solved. There's no hunger. Nope. There's no homeless veterans. We have no problems in America. So why not, this is good. Let's keep giving them money. They're doing a bang-up job so far.
Why not? Well, if you just follow the damn law, they ain't going to get your money.
Well, if I don't follow the law and a police officer sees me, he can stop me. He can issue me a summons. He can issue me a ticket. I will have to either contest that in court, which I have a story about that, or I can, I have options at that point.
So let me share a story with you that just happened to me last night. Speaking of red light cameras, I'm going into an intersection. It has went from red to green. It's been green for probably, 2-3 seconds before I get into the intersection. As I approach the intersection at the speed limit, I see a TPD officer coming into the intersection with their lights on. No sirens, just lights.
Okay.
So I immediately, decelerate. They decelerate, and they stop at the intersection, right? And I stopped before the white line. I even stopped. It's still green. I stopped because I saw them coming. Mm-hmm. And they proceeded through the intersection and turned their lights off about 60 feet on the other side of the intersection. And I slowly rolled through and watched to see if they even sped away or went quickly. No, they were just trying to get through that damn light. That's all they were doing, in my opinion. Now, it could be wrong.
I guarantee you an officer would tell you, well, no, what they were doing is, and they'd make some bullshit up.
And I was like, man, if I could have just been a few seconds further, and if they would have clipped the back end or something, I would have wanted to turn around and follow them, really, just to see if they were going on
you should have.
And I thought, if I follow them and they were...
You're allowed to follow
stop.
them.
Right, you are, yeah.
You are. You can follow them, you can film them.
Yep.
Yeah. They don't like it. And
no.
You'll probably end up losing.
They call that harassment. It's like, really? You've been following me for 2 miles.
It's not harassment. It's observing a public official in their public capacity.
Correct.
You're allowed to do that.
And I thought, man, I should have at least got the number and see what run that they were going on and find out if they weren't going on a run and then report it. But because I know.
And then what?
And then what?
Fucking nothing.
Yeah, just
these people can kill people and get administrative leave. You think you're going to get them for running a red light?
Well, then there's that.
Must be fucking crazy.
And I just thought, man, if there was a red light camera here, they would have got the picture of that cop running through that damn intersection.
And nothing would have happened. Actually, there's the people. So what happens when you run the red light is it takes your picture, right? that picture doesn't get sent to the police or any kind of public officer or anybody. It goes to Arizona, where their employees cycle through and make sure that they pick out the pictures that are, the best, whatever. They're the ones who decide if you're guilty or not. They then send that file back to whatever state you live in, into your precinct and your police, and then that lying sack of shit cop sits there and signs them all saying guilty, 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 and then they mail them all out. So the police officer isn't even the one who decides whether or not you committed an offense. Some fucking pea-brain guy out in Arizona who apparently has nothing better to do but work a shitty job where he fucks people over and still can sleep somehow, he decides if you're guilty or not. The cops just sign them because they're stupid and they just, oh, it's an order, I got to follow it. I better do my job, stay in line. I don't want to think for myself what might happen.
So at the end of the day,
I get so upset about these. I sound so dickheadish, but I can't fucking help it.
Devil advocate aside, I don't think they're legal. I don't think they're right. I know that there is some safety aspect that they do some benefit, but I don't know that giving up my rights as an American citizen in that capacity of being charged, that should not be a reason to get that. I wouldn't
say I don't know if it's not worth it. I do know it's not worth it.
So, I mean, and that can kind of sound a little conspiracy theorist or whatever you want to say. I don't it's just, think so. I don't, how much or safety am I willing to gain by giving up rights?
I would rather die in a T-bone accident than know that my fellow citizens got raped repeatedly of their finances to make sure that little old me was okay. It's dangerous driving. Look out for yourself. Look out for each other. Be careful.
Well, let's just do some better things. Let's look at roundabouts. Let's look at other alternatives. Lengthening the yellow light has proved to be very, very effective, and you don't have all the other extraneous things that we're talking about with, sending a ticket out to Arizona.
If it was about safety,
Constitution,
and not about money, right. They're not going to do it.
I agree.
It's about money.
You got to play the part sometimes.
Thanks for playing devil's advocate.
You believed me
last week, I thought you were all about them, and now I found out you got 2 unpaid, and I'm like, good job, man, good job. That's why we're buddies. So I was all fired up.
I will say that the one that happened at like 2:30 in the morning, I'm very glad it was a camera, not a real person.
Why, Jeff?
Because I was going too fast at 2:30 in the morning.
Well, there you go.
So, but yeah, and when I got the ticket, I'm like, I don't remember doing that. I mean, I didn't remember running the light at all. So I see to look down at my phone or something stupid.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? But
I guess
so I'm glad there was a camera and not a cop. That's all I can say.
Not that I give legal advice. I'll just say don't pay him.
What's that?
I said I'm not giving legal advice.
You're censored.
I'm just saying do not pay. Don't pay him.
Yeah.
Well, see what happens. Or, which some people see, that's the bullshit of it. Like, some people can't do it. Get a lawyer. Call a lawyer.
Yeah.
But I guess
I want to face my accuser.
Oh, you mean that camera? I bet it's really quiet during cross-examination.
Well, just on a brief part, when we didn't talk about speed cameras much, but what about the officers that hide and do the camera? Now, so this is a little different. The officer is there. There is an officer present.
They're not pulling you over.
They're not pulling you over.
Yeah.
They're not pulling you over. So, and they do the ticket, and they just let you continue to speed and don't slow you down.
Exactly.
See, now at least the red light cameras is trying to entice you to stop. I mean, generally speaking, it's trying to entice you to stop. That's the idea.
You're talking
right?
about the camera. You're talking about the officer standing behind their car with a little camera.
Not even with the car. Like, he goes and stands behind a barrel or whatever. So, which happens here in our town a lot on the major highway. They'll park up where you can't see them, and they'll just shoot down and they take a picture of your license plate, which is again why I don't have a front license plate. So,
which is why again they want them.
And I did see.
I also don't pay that ticket.
I know he got me one time. I was coming to the underpass, and I seen him up there, and I seen him look at the thing and then look back down, and I'm like, yes, I don't have a front license plate. You're not gonna get me, sucker.
Nice.
But I'd rather take the chance.
Also illegal, also unconstitutional, and I'm also not paying that ticket.
Well, so why do you think it's illegal and unconstitutional? The officer's there. He witnessed the crime. Well, and he did that, but he didn't chase you down, and which I'm kind of glad, because man, I really don't agree that officers should be running somebody down to give them a speeding ticket that's 10 mile an hour over, that's not being aggressive and disturbing the the flow of traffic or endangering anybody's life to a major extent.
Why are they sitting out there doing that?
It's a cash grab.
Thank you. That's why I don't like it.
Because they don't even. Here's the thing. At least the cameras at the stoplights tell you There's a camera here.
But
stop. That guy, they're not telling you anything.
All you're
So you don't
doing-
even know what happened. You're just...
all you're doing is not putting a sign up, and that officer now becomes the pole holding the camera.
But you don't
That's
see
it.
him. He's hiding.
But you see what I'm saying, though.
Right.
He's not approaching you. He's not stopping you. He's not actually
Correct.
issuing you anything.
No.
He's just taking pictures.
That's bullshit to me.
Same
That's
here.
total bullshit.
Same
Because
here.
there is no,
And
there's
I don't pay him.
no
I'm
chance.
not paying him.
Well, that one,
I'm not
good luck with
paying
that
him.
one. Good luck with that one. I'd like
will
to say, I
fight
don't know
that
how that
shit
would go.
until I run out of money. I'm not fucking paying it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
You didn't catch me. You got my what you caught is my license plate going faster. I wasn't going to bring this up, but a listener whom I talked to before about our subject brought this up. So if you can edit this out later. If this is not going to make the air, then you just know where the edit point is. But he made a good point. So yeah, they're issuing the license plate, the ticket, not the driver. So why am I paying, right? That's the idea. So if you're going through a school zone, what's the speed limit through a school zone?
20 mile an hour.
All right. Well, if you're jacking off while you're driving and you ejaculate, the male ejaculate leaves your penis 27 mile an hour on average.
Not if you're over 40.
Well, just sort of falls out like molasses then. So his ejaculate was speeding through a school zone. Am I getting a ticket? That's what I want to know.
Well, you're probably going to be on a predator list.
And Dylan, thank you so much for that. I
don't know if this will
was
make it, but
hilarious.
we'll
It probably
see.
won't make it. Maybe it'll make a
know.
blooper reel, but there you go. So I guess to end things, fuck those cameras. Fuck the whole concept behind them. It's like when a town takes their speed limit for like 2 blocks from 55 to 25. It's not for safety.
Woodville.
Woodville. It's just so they can stop and take your money. That's it. That's all it is. They're crooks. They're all criminals, and they should be ashamed of themselves, and some should even be in jail. That's my opinion on it.
Well, so if you have opinions, send us emails at arguablycorrectpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at...
Arguably C. Did I sound angry enough throughout this whole thing?
I think
or
so.
No? Okay.
Enough, yeah.
I'm actually trying to dial it down.
And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Arguably Correct. You can find us there. Leave us a comment and let us know what you think. And,
We will also be on Twitch again. That went really well the first time. We're going to do that again sometime, I think, April?
Yep, early April.
Maybe April Fool's Day. That'd be hilarious. Is it a weekend?
April Fool's Day, I think it's like a Tuesday.
Okay, who cares? Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll let you know.
April Fools. So check us out. Thanks for listening. We are Arguably Correct, and we'll see you next time.